Hi everyone, Happy New Year. My name is Tove. Welcome back to my channel, Tove Lovenitz. It is early January 2026 and I'm back from a well-earned little break over Christmas. Let's talk about everything happened during Christmas, New Year's, and let's look ahead of 2026. This is the first podcast episode after the craziness of Advent, Vlogmas. I managed to post almost every day for Vlogmas. It was first time for me, and I must say it was both really fun and a lot of work. So I have taken a little bit of a break, but on top of that, I was about to finish up Vlogmas 3 days before Christmas. I think I posted my last video or my last podcast, and after that I got sick. And I'm still not really recovered. Yes, 2025 has come and gone. We'll talk about also stash. How much stash I was left with in the end of the year. So how much stash I have brought into 2026. We'll talk about the finished objects that I made in the end of the year. I was in Finland, meaning I bought some yarn and all of the things. Before we start with that, I'm gonna tell you what I'm wearing, because now we're back into podcast mode and I actually have to talk about things that belongs in a podcast. I'm wearing my beloved Lumme pullover by Sari Nordlund. Sari Nordlund is a Finnish designer, and she, together with Veronica Lindberg, has started a podcast on YouTube. They do like one episode a month, I think is the schedule. And I really enjoy them talking about their whips and their thoughts and their designing idea. Tips for everyone that is interested in that. I'm wearing a really warm sweater today. This is Drops Lima, which is a Bacca wool blend. And it's very needed because, as you can maybe see, we have so much snow. Everyone in the world is talking about how much snow they have, so I might as well do as well. I live in the Netherlands with my husband and my 2 children, and I'm originally from Finland. This week we have gotten the most snow since, someone said since 63, but I'm not sure about that, but at least since the 10 years I've been living here, it's the most snow we've ever had. The kids are thrilled. They finally started the new daycare. I have 2 children. One is 3.5, one is 2.5. And they are absolutely loving the snow. It's a bit of a struggle to get dressed and undressed with them, but I'm really happy that they get to experience this this time and this snow. I'm home from work today. I've been working from home the whole week because, yeah, you can't really drive in this weather in the Netherlands. Unfortunately, it's not really equipped for that kind of thing, and neither are our cars. So there you go. But let's start from the beginning and basically end 2025. We haven't really done that yet. So December Vlogmas and Advent calendar was a joy. The Advent calendars, when it comes to yarn, are quite expensive, and you have to sort of take a decision quite early in the year. I think I bought mine in June or May even. And it was Atelier Het Wol based, a Dutch company that I've never heard of before, but I'm definitely gonna probably use again. They had a theme of Advent calendar, which was Wicked. And I knew the second movie would come out in November, and that worked out perfectly. I loved the inspiration picture and it really held up with the end product, which I will show you. I did Vlogmas in December and I did post almost every day, showing the yarn, showing the progress, talking about sort of what was going on. But since I'm not like a sort of a vlogger, it was quite hectic. But I'm really proud of myself, what I've done. But now we're back to sort of podcast twice a month situation and maybe some videos here and there. So if you're here for the podcasts, don't worry, they will remain in 2026. I did a poncho for my Advent project and I will show you the poncho. I also did some knitting for gifts. I am so sorry I did not take any pictures of the finished objects, but it was a hat, twisted hat from Kutova Kika, and I have knitted one before, so this is it. And a pair of socks with, stash yarn for my aunt. Very happy with those socks as well, and I almost used up all the scraps I had, and basically the small bits and pieces I threw away, so that was done. So I'm very happy that that adds out of my stash as well. And during December I also knit, of course, of a couple of things. But let's look at the poncho, which was the main object. I knitted 20 grams per day, and that was a skein of yarn. My Advent calendar was fingering weight yarn, 20 grams per day in a merino, 100% merino wool, which I held double to get a little bit of a thicker material and to knit it up a little bit faster, and that turned out really, really well. I searched a lot of different patterns and ended up with basically making my own pattern. And spoiler alert, that is also the reason why I say it's a finished object, but I'm gonna redo some things. But okay, here it is. We started out with a really, really thick, cozy neck, which is not in the Atelier Het Wool based. It is in a Drops Charisma, which is not a merino, it is a pure wool. But it turned out quite well, and because it turned out well, we started the journey of Wicked from a really black, and that was quite daunting for me to start with, but it turned out quite well in the contrast of the neck. And after that we went through Elphaba, Glinda, and I think this is the Emerald City, and then some purple, and ending up with a pink yarn. So this is the full Advent calendar. And then I did a bind off with Sandnes garn that I bought for another project in a sort of a rust color, which was actually quite a good idea. Here it is. This is the poncho. Now, I also said that I wanted to do like a rib hem. I haven't done that yet, and I think I still will, picking up some stitches in the back here. But so I'm very happy with that, and it's a finished object, and I weighed and I calculated it in the yarn for December. So I'm gonna also leave it like that. But if you can see, this is the shape. Can you see it's a bit weird? So all the way from here, there is increases, and then there is a different increase rate, and then it goes down from there. I thought that was going to be really, really good, and I kept trying it on and was really happy with that. However, this is a weird shape because, well, I could hold on. Okay, like that. I will have my raglan increases on the shoulders and on the front. And can you see that there's a bump. There's a bump where my elbows are, but if I hold down my arms, the bump is like, it's weird. So what I didn't realize is that my shoulders are not here, they are here. So the increase until the green is perfect, and then I should have dropped down completely, because I was afraid that it wasn't going to be enough material. There is enough material for sure. And as you can see, it's not, it has a good length, but it could be a little bit longer to then have a little bit of a thing. So what I will do, and it won't change the length that much, I think, it will change the shape, hopefully there, is I will actually frog all the way to the green, and then don't do any, I had a different increase rate on the pink than the green, but I will keep the increase rate on the green, stop the increases on the pink, and then just go down from here. But yeah, but okay, I'll keep it on because it's kind of nice. So this was the poncho by me that I did. I did use quite a lot of yarn for it, 536 grams, so that was 480. The neck was 50, and then plus the bind off. I haven't blocked this since I'm gonna frog it a little bit, so that will come later. And I will also then of course add some yarn for my sleeves, so that'll be maybe like 550 in the end. So it's a good project. All right, before I start with all my other whips, because I have no other finished objects other than this, I'll talk about the stash for the 2025. So we are really like wrapping up that year. I didn't manage to have really good numbers in the end of the year, and I knew that that was going to happen because I was planning to buy quite a lot of yarn in Finland, which I always do. And this year I have to think about if I'm going to keep doing that, but okay. I did some mending, I did a twisted, I did some scrunchies, which we're going to talk about. I did the socks, and I did a poncho. But coming into December, I had 15,403 grams, and going out of December, I had 16,406 grams. So I added 1,000 grams. And the reason why I add 1,000 grams is I bought quite a lot of Sandnes garn, which I'm going to show you, and I bought wildly enough of Drops Fiesta. They have both been started, the projects, and I'm fully committed to finishing that stash. Did I buy a little bit more yarn than I maybe needed? I think so, but that's fine. I will definitely use both of those in other projects. So that means that we're coming into the year with 16,406 grams. I always weigh my yarn around this time of year, so I will do a weigh of everything and see if that number is changing. But right now, 16,406. However, on all the other quarters, on all quarters actually, in 2025 overall, I managed to be on negative count on every quarter. This December being a really bad month, balanced out November being a really, really good month. So quarter 4, I managed still to be minus 46 grams. So we're almost made it. I managed to net negative 3,000 grams of my stash. Started the year with 9,300, finished the year with 16,400. I am really, really proud of that. I had a recount in the beginning, so don't take my math really, really seriously, but that is my math. I have mathed it correctly. 3,000 grams in 1 year. Goals for 2026. Okay, hold on to something. Is 6,000 grams. I want to get down to below 10,000 grams of yarn. How am I gonna get that? Well, I have to work more with my acrylic yarn. I have some blankets started, I have some blankets planned, and I have some sort of other projects planned for that stash. So that's gonna be how I'm gonna get there, I think. Because what I buy is the wool, and I also knit wool with my wardrobe. But the thing is, I've knitted so many sweaters this year. I may or may not have like what I've knit in 2025, but I will see about that. So that's not the problem. The problem is the acrylic yarn. So here it is. Goal for 2026 is below 10,000 grams, and that would mean that I have to knit 6,500 grams worth. Let's see. That is at least what I aim to do, and let's see how that goes. All right. This has been my journal for 2025. It is now ended. This is my journal for 2026. I have thought throughout the year of how I want to have my yarn diary, and the things that didn't work, it was a lot of things that worked for me for the 2025 diary, but the things that didn't work for me, I have now tried to fix in the 2026 diary. And that is a more of a modular idea. I will just simply really fast go through it, because if you want to know more, I can make another video of it. But basically, it has these rings that you can flip and take out pages and put pages in, and that you cannot do with a bound book, of course. So this is the setup. I start with a finish overview list, an overview list of everything I've been finishing per year, per month. I then go into a wish list of what I want to do, and then January starts. And then after that, every month looks the same. We have a life overview as a calendar, and here I will also write things about, pickup and daycare and plans and activities and things that I've booked. I will have my training goal as well for the month, so that's something I need to start doing. My January overview, so old whips, new whips, stash information, you see that, and then total stash count of the year and the month. And then a project page per project. And I have started doing, I've played around with a little bit of like a sticker situation. So I have made a sticker sheet with the information I will add on per project, name, size of hook, what yarn I used, notes if I like the project or not, and so on and so on and so on. And then a gram out of yarn in the end. And on the other page, I have a to-do list where I can then sort of split the pattern into to-do chunks of to-do, which I find really nice to keep track and keep myself accountable and have a little bit fun with it. So every page has a to-do list, and every page has a project page. And the idea is that if one of these projects, of course, will not be finished in January, I will take the actual page with me to February. So only finished pages will be staying in January, and then I will set up February in the same way. So that's the idea. I'm hoping it's gonna go well. I have all these blank pages that I can go and grab. I have the to-do pages. I have just dotted pages, as you can see. and I have calendar pages and also, yeah, just blank lined. Let's talk about that later, and if you have any questions, ask me. I'm definitely not finished developing this method of modular diaries, and the sticker sheets. Also, I've changed a couple of things about it already, so I'm sort of taking out 4 at a time. But yeah, I'm really highly enjoying it so far, and I'm also using it as like to-dos for daily life, so it's really, really handy. All right, let's look at the whips I'm bringing in from 2025, and let's start with the oldest one, which is the Doodle Tee. The Doodle Tee I started in end of May, and it's really a long-term project, and when I keep reminding myself that it's a long-term project, then it brings me joy. It is Heart Content by Jennifer Bealey on the top. You've seen this before, and it's my doodles then on the bottom. I finished up the last doodle, which is the mushroom, in December, and it really is becoming my favorite doodle. I looked at the colors that I have left, I looked at the colors that I've used, and I ended up with this color scheme. This is the background color, and this is the one that I'm gonna use for the hearts that I'm gonna make. The hearts came to me when I realized it's a new year. It brings me a lot of joy. Every time I look at this, it also brings me joy. So hearts for sure. So I will do some rows with the purple, then do the heart, and then this purple. The plan is to make this doodle this month, at least before we're getting to 1 year worth of whip, hopefully. But that's that. Second I'm bringing in is the Tekla sweater by Marianne Nörbo. I did a deliberate break on that, but I will put back the needles and I will keep chugging along on the body, because I'm using like a mohair, which is a acrylic mohair, and that's good for my stash. And I kind of enjoy working on it, I think. Then I have the Ted's blanket. I also stopped that when I went to Finland. I'm not coming back. I started on it again, and it's the whip that I use when I'm like cooking and stuff, because it's very short rows, so you can put it down and pick it up very easily. I'm 200 grams into that whip, and I have 1,000 grams worth of yarn, so I did a sort of to-do list of 50 gram worth of steps, and that'll keep me motivated to continue. Now on to the 2 new whips that you haven't seen before. Both are from yarn that I bought in Finland. The first one is using Sandnes Garn Baby Ull Lanette in this rust color, which is color 3535. This is superwash fingering weight yarn, and it's really soft, and it's becoming my favorite yarn so far. It's fingering weight. This means that the garment will, I'm holding it as like one strand only. I'm knitting it with 3.25 millimeter needles, so takes a long time, but that will create a thinner transitional sweater, which is perfect for the springtime. And this is the reason why I was excited to start Citrine Light by Emily Green. It's been on my to-do list for quite a while, and here it is. It's quite technical, and I'm really enjoying the look of it. It has these twisted rib panels that looks almost like armor, I would say. A lot of short rows, a lot of mirror knitting for me, which is exciting. The look of it is really nice. You start out with like a crochet cast on, and that will create this braid in the top of the shoulder, which you then later mirror in the neckline when you do like an Estonian braid, it's called. Ta-da! Proud of myself. I'm really excited about it. I managed to join in the round, so now I'm chugging along on the body, which will take a while. I know that. So I'm pacing myself, but yeah, it's really good. The sleeves will also be twisted rib, which is just, yeah. Twisted rib is easier when you do continental knitting than English knitting, so I've got that going for me, but still, it's a lot of work. Exciting. I started 21st of December. I'm knitting a size 4. The last WIP, it's hard side cardigan by Wool and Pine. Now Wool and Pine has this thing with scrap yarn, and I don't have a lot of scrap yarn. The pattern is calling for 2 fingering, so 4 strands of fingering, creating a 2-colored brioche fabric in a cardigan style. I don't have that, as I said, so I went ahead and bought DK weight 2 colors to create a DK cardigan, brioche cardigan. And I've looked at Drops Fiesta for quite a while, so I bought a purple color as one strand and a neutral for the other one to create this. I chose the neutral as the front color, the foreground, and the purple as the background, which I'm really happy with the choice because it really sort of accentuates both colors. So this hard side cardigan starts with a garter stitch panel for the shoulder. Then you pick up the stitches and knit the back, and you join in the front, and I'm knitted all the way down to the garter hem in the bottom. Now it's time for sleeves. I will pick up the sleeves and I will do also like in the round brioche, which is the first time I'll do that, so that'll be exciting. But yeah, I've knitted so much and it's going so fast. With 5.5 millimeter needles, it's a good contrast towards the other one, which is very teeny tiny needles. So I'm really enjoying this. Brioche is quite heavy, it's plump, a lot of fabric, but I'm hoping it'll stay its shape. Anyway, what else to say about that? I said 5.5 millimeter needles. That is one with the garter part where you hold the 2 strands together, and the brioche part is 4 millimeter needles, but that's still quite okay. Good. That was it for the WIPs. Plans for 2026, as I said, was to bring down the stash quite a lot, meaning I will do like technical things, I think, in maybe more of a blanket situation. Specifically with the acryl, that's not really something I would like to wear, so I'm gonna test out some techniques, I think, this year. Illusion knitting, some crochet maybe. I have a Tunisian crochet pattern in my future, I think, as well. All right. If you like this kind of content and if you want to follow along in 2026 with me, then please subscribe. If you like it, give me a like. That's what the algorithm likes as well. Other than that, I wish you warmth, and be safe in the snow if you're in Europe, because everyone has snow right now. I wish you all the joy in your knitting as always, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye!